Alright, I motherfucking lost my last recording. This is part 2 of why Heroes of the Storm is uncompetitive. First off, when I look at this loading screen, I feel like they could be doing a lot more into introducing a new character to this new person to this game. Straight up.
The battle begins shortly, heroes.
Right now, it feels like there are not enough resources for letting a player get good. Not saying that's Blizzard's fault. This game just isn't popular enough. Like, it just doesn't have the player base. You can see it on Twitch, where League of Legends has like 100,000 viewers watching their streams. Well, there's like maybe 5,000, maybe 10,000 on a really good day for Heroes of the Storm. It's just clearly not as popular as its competitors right now. Beyond that, I feel like the biggest problem with this game is how broken a lot of the tools they use, a lot of the formulas and algorithms they use to establish the game are. Like, beyond just player skill, because that's obviously a problem. I go on Reddit and I see Masters players from last season getting placed with Platinum players from this season and vice versa. Obviously, there's something that needs to be done from the comparing player skill perspective. But more importantly, that these two team comps, I read that Blizzard tried to make it so that there are less mirror matchups in this game. And there weren't any mirror matchups, as many as there are since the Hanzo patch. But since the Hanzo patch came out, I've been getting a shit ton of mirror matches. I've played like KT and Gul'dan on both teams. A double mirror match. This game's a double mirror match. It just makes the game not very fun to play. I'd gladly wait 30 seconds to 2 minutes longer in quick match for a tank on my team instead of playing as Falstad, playing with Jim Raynor, Hanzo, and Valla, 380 carries. Obviously, I would not care if instead of Nova they had a new Barak. If instead of my Jim Raynor I had Diablo. I just wouldn't care. That would be way more fun for me. I really don't like how they do the quick match system, because even without the mirror matches, a lot of the time you just get 5 assassins versus 5 assassins. That doesn't teach you how to play this game in a smart way. It doesn't teach you how to win. It's completely luck based, and all it does is teach you how to get out of individual scenarios when you're like 1v3 or 1v1, 2v1. Doesn't show you how to win Garden of Terror, for example. Why are you even trying to make the game about your map diversity if you aren't gonna let players get good at the map? You could say like, oh well, you should just watch your own replays. I'm gonna watch more of my replays. I've watched barely any of my replays because I'm gonna be doing something with them. Played about 1,000 games so far, 2 months. Because to focus on my school applications, I decided to take a quarter off. I don't want to go back to UCSD, which is where I was studying before.
I'm gonna pull back for now.
In that time, I can say that most of my disappointment in this game has just been with the lack of attention to detail they have for their player base, which is a damn shame. I've never seen game developers, besides like EA, I guess, so negligent towards keeping their player base happy. And just like, oh, we want to make this game more competitive, we want to make it more balanced. Balance is not the issue. Balance will come as a result of players figuring out what's good and what's not. That's not how you achieve balance, by totally switching up the game dynamic and making it very hard for players to figure out the right way to play the game. For example, before this patch, the game was maybe 70% about team fighting, 30% about wave clear. I think that's a better balance. I think it should be like 60-40 for the type of game this is. But right now, the game's like 80% about objective control, 20% about team fighting. Because, maybe not even objective control, just map control. Because the objectives are not as important right now. It's just about turrets and minions. 80% about that. How can you set up a good team fight when you're preoccupied with trying to clear a wave? You can't. You're trying to do two things at once, you're not going to do either of them right. You go for a team fight right now, you win it, your Nexus goes down, like, you're down a fort and you win a team fight, try to come back in this game, the Nexus goes down 20% HP. How are you going to come back? Just doesn't seem like there is enough precision in what they want to do. They just discussed it with words instead of going deep into the numbers when it came to making a lot of decisions that they made. I don't really need to talk about the gameplay right now. It's not what this video is about. I'm not trying to analyze my own VOD. I'm just trying to give you a perspective of what it's like playing the game right now. I have played ranked, by the way. I played 100 games of ranked last season, and I ended up just playing like 60 games of Cassia during Cassia free week. Ranked when I never played Cassia before because I didn't care. Okay. Didn't really feel like it was worth the time investment. Like, there are a lot of technical issues, obviously. Like lag, frame rate drops. Frame rate drops are a huge issue, by the way. Huge issue. Input lag. That's stuff that computer engineers need to work on. They need to get better computer engineers working on this game. But right now, the only people they're hiring is the art design, so they can release new champions, I guess. That's not how you're gonna make this game more successful. Bringing a Fire Bat or Belial into this game isn't gonna attract any more attention. There's already Asmodean, like, come on. Diablo fans are obviously fine with how the game has been represented in this game. It's not about that, it's just about improving core gameplay mechanics. And they pretty much butchered it this season.
Need to pull back.
Just doesn't feel like if this is how they treated their big patch of this year, that they're gonna pay as much attention that they need to for their big patch next year. To nerf double support, they're nerfed healing by 10% across the table. There's so many ways, so many other ways to change the meta, and they opt for the laziest option because it reads good on page. That's fucking horrible, man. It just doesn't feel like there's enough people working on this game. They really need like some of the programmers of Overwatch fine-tuning this engine. Everybody thinks Overwatch is a great game. I think Overwatch is a great game. I'd be playing Overwatch if I, you know, if I had good aim in a first-person shooter. Fortunately, I don't right now. It's not a skill I really want to pick up at this point in time, maybe in the future. But that game's still fun as fuck, even when, as long as you aren't missing. Which is fine, that's the skill of the game, getting your aim right. Even sometimes when I'm playing this game, like, I've had amazing ass Genji games where literally I'm like, I get 22 kills and we lose. And I just feel like shit. Like,
falls, heroes.
you can at least be pretty happy. Maybe not Overwatch and CSGO. If you get like 4 decent, like, you get 4 headshots and you miss the last one. It's like, oh no. When you're that close to this game, it does not feel good. I also don't know why, instead of being like Dota, and putting voice communication into this game, they decide to be like League of Legends and not put voice communication in this game. I literally had someone say to me, oh, it'd be too toxic. Really? You just come from a League of Legends background. In Dota, they do have voice communication, and it is not toxic. It's like you take the worst part of League, put it into this game. It's a strategy game. You want to be able to talk about what you want your team to do.
What do you think?
But you can't do that right now.
Likes it.
Your enemy spawns a terror.
I could talk about toxicity. Yeah, I don't really want to. Just note that just because it looks toxic doesn't mean the person saying it is like fuming like a 12-year-old on Xbox Live back in the day. It's very different. People who are fuming tend to type less. It's very hard to stay calm while typing because you can type but make yourself look like an idiot. Anyway. Yeah, we're just getting pooped on this game.
The enemy's terror has spawned.
I really feel like instead of having the UI developer be the lead developer, you could have the UI developer developing a better UI. Because this is one of the ugliest replay systems I've ever seen. Besides just the bugs. Like, look at that top bar of the map. That top part of the map. That's so disgusting. They could just be utilizing their resources way better. And instead, it just seems like Blizzard's being super lazy with this game. Like, oh yeah, we made it. It has all of their characters in it. And they just choose to neglect this property.
It's over for now.
I really feel
But
like
don't get
Blizzard's
too
had an
comfortable. The
inconsistency
infested
problem
will
since
return
they merged
again.
with Activision. Diablo 3, for example. The first time I played Diablo 3 was the beginning of this month, December. And I had a really good time. I completed a level 82 Greater Rift within like 9 days of playing. And I swear to God, I've never played Diablo 3 before. My friend told me to play it. But when that game came out, apparently it was not nearly as streamlined as it is today. I cannot imagine sitting through some of the bullshit that you have to sit through. But, you know, the product I played is great. But if I had to like teleport the way that you had to teleport before, I would just be pissed off. And that's what this game leaves me feeling like right now. Very pissed off.
Come on, we've got this.
When I win, I guess it's fun. When I lose, I am not having fun. Just because it doesn't feel like there's an avenue back in. I really feel like players need to be educated on how to play this game instead of just being encouraged to dive in like a buffoon as Illidan, Kerrigan, Butcher. Because it's ugly watching those guys throw a quick match away because they're testing the character out. Like in League, for example, there's literally a compendium. Every character with a video of their abilities. If you really want to, there's probably a guide for how to play your character. There actually is. At least the text guide. That's good. There's nothing like that in this game. It stems from it not being popular enough. It stems from it not being inaccessible enough for new players. The quick match experience is a joke. Half the time you're placed in a game like this where there's nothing to learn except for don't play like these. Don't play like these guys are right now. That's just how it is. It's not how you get better in League. Straight up. I know there's toxicity. At least people try to make the right play instead of resorting. Instead of just giving up. Play like ass. There's a lot of room to make the right play in that game, which I like. When you're placed with some random team, you aren't expecting like your Nocturne to just ult in for a 1v1 and the chance he gets. Because that's not what you do. But in this game, 60% of the villains do that. It's like you're encouraged to not use your brain. And then you just get into that rhythm. And it leads to... I've watched one pro game for this game. It was a 17-minute game. And the final score was 6-4 or something. It was the last game of BlizzCon 2017. This is a game where the engine literally lets you get 50 kills in 15 minutes. On one team, like, you could have, the score could be like 50 to like, I've never had a 50 to 45 game, but I've had like a 50 to 20 game in like 15 minutes. This is a game where the engine lets that happen. And instead, pro players are playing for a 6-4 game in the grand finals for $425,000. That's just unacceptable, man. Something needs to change. A lot of things need to change, but the something that really needs to change is the development team.